Moving on to a wrangle though, and that does change things up a little bit. 2 games remaining tonight, and there is a fairly sizable points difference between first, second, and third. But at least for Buriram, LG Divine, and Division X Gaming, we do have a bit of a 3-horse race. So looking forward to seeing how this one pans out with the remaining 2 games.
Well, of course, a long time ago, in what's been a very long 2020 year, Division X were the winners for the PCS Charity Showdown. So in a way, they have already won a PCS event this year. So like LG Divine, both going for their second PCS event win. Obviously, you're going to have some people out there say, well, only PCS 1, 2, and 3 actually count. But hey,
nah, that's rubbish.
Winning,
I reckon
winning, exactly. Winning is winning at the end of the day. Buriram, of course, looking for their first PCS event, which they've just really... I don't know if I can say they have to hold on.
Can we touch on this, by the way, quickly? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's very important that we talk about these rankings on a wrangle, right? Because Buriram, you can see up there, 90 points. They are the team leading from the front on a wrangle. LG Divine, 68. And where the hell is Division X Gaming all the way down in 11th place on 41? So that's not painting a pretty picture for these 2 teams that are trying to catch Buriram when you consider they're coming into the map where they are the best on it of the field.
Yeah. I mean, you could go as far to say they might need to get 40 points in these next 2 games. I mean, yeah. Realistically, if you think about it, Buriram, that circle's really fun, though. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, Buriram United, if they continue their Erangel trend, as you were sort of saying and alluding to, were you kind of expecting them to go out and go and get at least to maybe a 210 when it's all said and done? That's about 20 points, average to 10 points over the 2 Erangel games. So that then gives LG Divine and Division X both sort of their ambitious target is maybe around 210 points if they're going to win it. Now, of course, that's if Buriram go and get those points. It's not going to be that easy. The other part of the equation is also maybe in the last game, do we see a hot drop? It is in the conversation, whether it's LG Divine, whether it's Division X, one of them may elect to go for it on Buriram, and the other would love the other to do it as well.
I think there definitely would be an argument to be made for it, right? Depending on how this game goes, but when you look at it being Division X having a 20-point gap over Cerberus and LG Divine right now having a 21-point gap over them, you know, there's also in the back of your mind, if you're thinking about a hot drop, yeah, we may be able to catch that team that's ahead of us, but if we do this hot drop and we mess it up, the team below us could catch up. But if there's a 20-point gap, you know, I think there might actually be a potential gamble there that could actually pay off. Now, that's bad news already for everyone that's in this game, apart from Buriram. Nordra having picked up the first kill onto Rabbit. Another point on the board for Buriram. Just another one that LG Divine and Division X Gaming are going to have to overtake. So now it's a 20-point gap for Division X and a 19-point gap for LG Divine. And as you spoke about a little bit earlier, it was a pretty crazy circle shift. We said we would talk about it. Well, I guess here it is. That's a really big hard shift in favor of Buriram, right? We don't often talk about the first shift quite so much. We say it doesn't matter quite that much compared to the 4th or the 5th shift, but this is going to be really nice for Buriram, right? This sort of reminds me of that shift that FaZe got in GLL Grand Slam when Atletico was trying to, you know, take that win. Yeah. And obviously being the Mill to Power team, they got the Mill to Power circle. Well, we've got a Mill to sided circle here for Buriram. Not so many parallels to draw just yet. We haven't seen the, you know, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th circles, but definitely a good start for Buriram, not to mention the fact that they also got that kill point already. So Division X Gaming have got some driving to do, they've got some points to gather, and they've definitely got some catching up required.
There is a world, though, in where, because of the circle, depending on how Phase 2, Phase 3 plays out, Buriram might get put in a position where they're actually hard-fed, which in turn it means they don't actually get many more kills this game. They've only got the one at the moment, which then in turn may allow LG Divine and Division X to actually just sort of farm up the lobby a bit. And when it's all said and done, LG Divine and Division X could actually still come out ahead. I think the goal, especially what we go off now, which is the live rankings, 20 and 19 points respectively, the goal would be to get it down to at least 10, which is manageable. And considering if you can get it down to 10 going into the last game, well, you just did it in the last game. So then you've got that feedback. And 10 points with 1 game to go, a win and 10 kills should be enough, you would think, to get it done. And even if you don't get the win in 10 kills is at least enough if Buriram get nothing. So you got to take baby steps in the approach. You can't just try and overtake Buriram with 2 games to go in match 23. Do what you got to do here. Play to your strengths. And I think that's what LG Divine and Division X Gaming are going to do in this particular match. They're not going to do anything too crazy. And you say it's a great circle for Buriram, and it is, but I think even LG Divine are in a really good spot around Mansion as well. So they're not going to be too displeased either.
No, that's the interesting part about this, isn't it? It's like the 2 teams that are vying for the top spot are theoretically, if one of them gets fed, probably both of them are going to get fed because of the proximity that they drop to one another. They're always so close on a angle. Even the rotations are going to be fairly similar for them as well. So it might go hand in hand, and that's not really going to favor LG Divine all that much because, if Buriram does well and they do well, it's still not going to be enough, unfortunately. Here's Bay having a look into the prison. Cerberus is there, but what Bay doesn't know is that Subang and Salolzi are not actually in the prison. So hopefully Juxie's keeping an eye on what's happening behind him because there's 2 players headed directly in proximity to Bay.
Kicking off actually now. We get the split screen.
Oh, that's clean.
Nice clean shot from Salolzi, but Subang was knocked. So 1 for 2 trade because Loki and Loki, that's a nice little couple nickname there for Loki's and Juxie, have been knocked for Bay. Reinforcements as well arriving for Cerberus. Nefahor at the tree. I don't think he's expecting the push though to his left flank. He's watching ahead of him. Look at Basil. Going to be able to get the knockdown onto Sophia. Nefahor has to get off of this. If he doesn't get off of it and get a few knocks, they're going to basically die. They're all going to die. He's got too many to deal with. He got 1 knock onto Saki, but Cerberus will very much take these kills. Looking to, I guess, just lock up the top 4.
I tell you what, I was talking about that 20-point gap between Division X Gaming and Cerberus, and that seems to have gone by the wayside pretty quickly. And what's worse is Buriram have heard all these shots. They've just decided to walk up the hill and say, thank you very much.
Ooh.
There's another kill for me.
Feeding
and there might be actually 4 on the board available to them. Cerberus have already lost 2. Buriram, no, they've lost 3. Buriram is not going to let this go by the wayside. Saki does not get out of here alive. Surely not. They are just going to hunt him down. This is what Buriram does best. They know they have an advantage. They chase it down, and they get those points on the board. That's why they're one of the best teams in edge kind of situations, is when they have the advantage, they can push it so confidently. And, well, Saki, it was going so well for Cerberus. Until
I like how you mentioned sort of their edge prowess, which I think we both agree on is there, but they're dead center at the moment at this prison location. I know it's based on phase 1, but they're in a different sort of field, I guess, based around the circle rather than on the edge. They are the center circle dot. As Canaxi's knocked, long range, they got smokes. I think they're fine. I don't think Rocky Jims is going to be able to repeat this. He's going to obviously go for it. It's just a matter of luck. He's just going to get a bit lucky there shooting into the smoke. Not going to fly into Canaxi though. That could have been extremely detrimental to go down to 3 players so early on, even though they've found a few kills to start this game. You would much rather have 4 alive than the early kills.
Well, Buriram is going to have 4 alive. The res comes across, which is
and
all
the
good.
Kills.
And they've got the kills as well. So this is actually where we need to see LG Divine really sort of stepping up pretty early in this game. If they're going to play their usual style, which is sit in the center, and it seems like they're likely to do that. You can see this 4-way split that they have. They're waiting for that next circle to come in. If it goes north, they can move to J-End. If it goes south, they can move to Levi's. Fairly likely that it's actually going to end around somewhere like Mansion.
What if it goes to the water?
Wedjun or Levi's is. Well, that's where I think you still sort of hedge your bets that it's probably going to end Mansion after it comes back in. But Jun and Levi's are going to have the obvious choice of moving back up to the north now. And for LG Divine, I do want to see some kills on the board early here, because if they do let Buriram play their own game, frag out from this point, Buriram's going to build a fairly sizable lead. And
how many are they going to get
Divine wins, like
from this Mansion position?
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. It's like maybe it's not enough to even just win this game. Maybe they need to get a pretty big win.
The thing is, if you can get to a position where you're going to win the game, even if you've only got 1 or 2 kills going into the finale, you're still likely to go and get 6 or 7 kills to get the actual win. So even an 8-kill win, that's 18 points. You would basically hope that Buriram don't get many more points, and then you'd go into the last game only down, what, 5, 6, basically a handful of points. So I think LG Divine are really happy with this circle, the way it's played out for phase 2. As you said, if there's any water, it's going to further continue to go towards Mansion, as Just Moments has been run over by Insight unceremoniously. And then Ronan follows up with the Groza from behind as Fury rotate past Lepovka. Not sure exactly where they're going to be heading. They've still got to fight for top 5, though. I think it would be a very big failure if they don't finish at least in the top 5. So they haven't got nothing to play for because there's still something there. Plus the prize pool, I guess, when you consider the difference between 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, definitely a lot to play for Fury. And I think they want to make a bit of a statement here and, be one of those most consistent teams in APAC over the course of 2020. If they do drop down into 6th or 7th, I think that's a bit of a dampener to the end of the year for them. It's still not a bad result by any means, but it's not a 2nd or a 3rd or even a 4th here. I think 4th is probably achievable. I'm not sure that 3rd is anymore, but hey, who knows? Like we've said, it can all come down to one really big game. And if there is a really big game here for Fury, we'll be going into the final game of this evening singing a bit of a different song. And to be fair, this one's gone a little bit better for Fury than the other games this evening have so far. No player lost early. They're into a center compound pretty early on in the piece as well. And maybe a wrangle, like I said, change of scenery is going to be kind on them. Always still a chance. Division X Gaming, though, have lost Fergus. He's been knocked. It's not a kill yet. And it should be easily resable for IQ 500, who's going to come rolling in here in a lovely green Dacia. Don't know about you, Xenox, but I think green's probably not the color I'd want for my car if I had to take a pick.
I'm sorry, have you seen my room? It's basically green everywhere, so
I'd
like
be
okay
green.
with it.
I like green, but I don't know if I want my car to be green.
No, I'm fine with it. Doesn't bother me.
All right.
It stands out, camouflage as well, especially on Erinkel, just basically a bush.
That looks like a bush to me.
Yep. 24 seconds till phase 3. There's the revive. No surprise. Fergus is fine. Division X, though, if they don't get a northern feed on these cliffs, they are going to have to push eventually for phases 3 and 4, which may give them the kill potential, I guess, towards the end of this game to get those points to make up that the start that Buriram has had. A northern shift here does not bode well for Buriram United at all. That is the shift that Division X Gaming needed to have. Buriram's 2-2 split is for naught. They have to go very far up north. There's no compounds available. So you're either breaching or you're playing far edge. And you're going to have to back yourselves in, I guess, to play the playstyle they're known best for.
I guess the one benefit is that it's Unicorn and Cyber and Purple Mood that are in front of them as opposed to, someone like LG Divine and Cerberus. So at least it's 2 teams that they should be able to beat. But it's not always what that comes down to. You can just make a bad rotation and you get knocked out your vehicle and then you're done. You don't even get a chance to fight. Cerberus suffered something similar by getting caught by Buriram near prison, and they're really relying on Heisaki, who is looking at it like he's driving a very beat-up UAZ right now straight into the center of the circle, which is all well and good. There's a change of vehicle if he wants it. He's broken a couple of tires, but has to go sailing on past. It's a bit too risky to get out at this point when he knows he's in a huge crossfire between Fury, probably even Angel Alliance can have a look down. Purple Mood might have some shots on him.
This is a really good hill that probably Angel Alliance should have pushed out onto. Heisaki.
Oh, look at this.
Now, here's the breach. Now, this is what LG Divine do, though, don't they? We've seen it time and time again. Waiki Kabuki are just going to get in the Dacia and get out because it's only a 2-2 split. So they held on to the position. But LG Divine...
Victim Rise is there too.
Are just constantly able to breach compounds and get away with it more than any other team in the region. They don't even have to fight for it. You say Victim Rise is here, but now they're on the outside.
What's he looking at? Jayen's literally in a Dacia in front of him next to the wall and he hasn't taken a shot. Victim Rise don't want to give away their position, or they just didn't realize that Jayen was in the car.
I don't think he realized.
He was sitting still in the Dacia.
That's what you do when the T-Rex is coming at you. You just stand still.
They can't see you. Yeah. It's the best way to camouflage. Well, anyway, Fury did cop a knock. That was Ronan, but I think he's been rezzed. Or should be getting rezzed. That's a very nice Molotov. Flash has gone down here for Day Trade Gaming. It's not looking too good for them. Sharper Esport, they had a great start to today. They have dropped back down into 5th place, and Cerberus has overtaken them, but they're making a strong finish happen here, and so is From the Future. We saw a great game from them on Miramar to finish off there, and Pansuzu keeps the pace up for From the Future.
Oh, the pressure's just paramount here for Day Trade. Sharper looking to get involved. Lawrence did get to Noi, but was never going to get anything else than that, and there was only a knock at that. Blues finishing up here for phase 3. LG Divine are in for phase 3. Will they get the phase 4 circle? No, they don't. Buriram, LG Divine just cannot get a circle feed here for Erangel at the moment. Division X, on the other hand, Jordan, keep getting quite fortunate. Well, doesn't mean they're going to get kills, but it's the old adage. Do you want to get fed, or do you want to get the early kills and be at risk of dying early?
Division X have to convert this, you know. If there's any chance of them still coming away with the first place, they've been gifted a little bit by the circle, but that's not to say that, like you say, it's going to be so easy for them to finish this one off with a win. There's still a lot of ground to cover for them. They're not quite central. There's going to be a few teams headed in their direction. You can see Sharper actually at the moment rotating around the western flank just past the Yasnaya field. Ferox copping a few shots from Hydra Gaming. Ram will be able to stay in that garage compound if they want to. Oh, no. Sorry, I'm looking at LG Divine on the mini-map, not Buriram. Buriram definitely have to move. And they're going to be moving in a similar direction to Sharper, which might actually work out quite poorly for them, because I don't think that that's going to be the kind of push that you want to be making up the hill into a team as solid as Sharper, after probably having gone past Magic Esport as well. Here's some points on offer for Division X Gaming. 2 of them, in fact, and they're off to the races now. 3 points, maybe, as another player rotates right past. Longk can't quite land those shots. The Bossens is not long for this world. He's 1 shot away from death. He's dodging them all. And it seems he might just get to safety. How safe is it really? Because Longk is still watching. He's not going to be moving from there.
Well, it does get Division X Gaming into 2nd place. Look at the top 3, though. All 3 of those teams have got 4 alive. Down to the south, though, we draw our attention to the heavyweight clash, though. Buriram United versus LG Divine, and it's not just the scoreboard. It is in-game as well here. Nicky's going to die, surely, if they take the shot. But Buriram, they do have to be careful, right? You can see it in the mini-map. Below them is the blue. So you take these shots, and you don't get what you really want, then you're going to be at a deficit, because LG Divine can then gatekeep. And as soon as the down has been played, the 2 teams will know who they're fighting, and that may just change the ideas and the strategies a little bit. LG Divine have got basically everyone inside of the buildings, 1 over at the garage as well, 1 on top here at the double, JN down below. Buriram had to push immediately. As soon as they started firing their shots, it was go time. They had to make the push onto the compound. This is huge, though. Now that JN's got the knock on Canaxi, they're going to look at this and be like, we've got to flush them. We have to get these guys out of the game, back ourselves in to win it, especially now in a 4 versus 3. JN does spot 1 below him, though. The steel bars are going to be hard to shoot through. You can see that with Nordra. He wasn't able to land the shots onto JN. Canaxi has been eliminated. Bleeds out to JN. 4 versus 3.
This is huge for LG Divine. If they can knock Buriram out right now, they can still make a run in the final game of this evening. It's not looking fun for Buriram, but God Meow gives them a sliver of hope, and Nicky's killed himself with a grenade.
Oh my God.
He was hanging on to it as he got knocked. God Meow, at the very least, traded down by Levi's. But LG Divine, what was the dream start to this fight, has started to turn into a bit of a nightmare. Let's see what the final 2 players for LG Divine can do, but they're inside of the blue.
Oh, Division X have gotten the hard feed here while LG Divine and Buriram battle it out. Buriram do get kill number 5, but they're only down to 2 players. This is the perfect scenario as well for Division X to sort of go on and win this game, but also for LG Divine. If they can get the last 2 members on Buriram while still having 3 up, not too shabby, but they do then have to leave this compound, make their way into the next circle. Look at them hunt down Nordra. who's just on the other side of this wall getting beat up by BTR. Edie as well, further up the wall. Levi's jumps up, but it's Gemfos with the MK14 who gets the knock, gets the flush. Nordra's eliminated. Only one left for Buriram United. Ferox also looking at this compound. And I think right now the biggest thing that LG Divine should be doing, getting into this vehicle and getting out of this compound. Even if Buriram stay alive and you don't finish the job, you do not want to die here. Edie's going to stay behind. He comes back though and he gets JN. Only Levi's is up for LG Divine. It's gone horribly wrong. They have capitulated in the biggest of fights that you can have.
Oh,
they're down to just Levi's. He spins out. He needs to get back in. Nice little style point to turn that Darcy around with no tires, basically. Somehow stays alive, but not for much longer. LG Divine are out. They're 21 points behind Buriram with 1 game to go. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. On the flip, though, Buriram aren't going to get much more from this game because they're out as well. It's all up to Division X Gaming, Jordan. Can they capitalize? It's all on them.
That was the most ludicrous passage of play that I think I've had the pleasure of casting in PUBG. How on earth does Edie out-survive LG Divine after all that goes on there? It was Ferox and Victim Rise shooting at Buriram, and LG Divine just get absolutely bonked out of the server as they work their way out of that compound. Well, as you say, it's all on Division X Gaming now. Lots of teams trying to make their rotations in. Fury are picking up a lot of points in that. Meanwhile, so is From the Future as Magic Esports are out of the picture, but Insight's going to chuck a nade through. He's holding the grenade out in his hand. He's killed himself, knocked himself at least, I should say. But he did get the knock onto Kamals before he went down. Oh my God, this final couple of games here on Erangel, delivering at the moment. But I do want to see a big one here from Division X Gaming, just to put them within a stone's throw of Buriram. You know, get another 10 or 15 points here and make that last game something to behold.
Surely they get the phase 6 feed. Why not? They've had 5. Can they make it 6? If they do, it's surely as good as much as a win. If it goes out to Sharper Esport, nah, it's of course it was only ever going to go on to Division X. 2 kills, 4 alive. And they have as well the knowledge that Buriram and LG Divine are out, as long as they've done their kill feed reading correctly. 10 teams, 27 alive. And with this circle feed, look, the premise is that the majority of teams not in the circle will probably end up killing it themselves. And Division X just need to try as hard as they can to steal a few knocks or something that happen. If any teams try and push into the circle a little bit early, they've got to be on the front foot. They've got to be aggressive. But I don't sense it's this phase that they'll get the kills, but it'll be more so phases 7 and 8.
Oh, you never know. I mean, Neil T's got a very nice angle actually here onto Sharper. Gets the knock onto Maximus. It'll be a tough one to kill, but the fact that they've even got angles, you know, you can see if you look at the map screen right now, shots coming through from Division X Gaming. So it's not like they aren't completely out of this fight right now. They're being able to pick some shots here, try and pick up a sneaky kill or two. You know, if someone gets knocked in the wrong spot, maybe Division X can steal something away. And here we go, Long K get another one. A knock onto Kim Sibber, just tapping away through the smoke. And that is doing a number onto Sharper Esport. 5 kills up for Insight. Fury continue to put in some damage. And I mean, Division X, they're just tapping away, causing problems, and completely uncontested at the moment. That's the beauty of this position for them. It's like, yeah, if we get a kill here or there, that's a bonus. That's 1 or 2 more points. But the real takeaway is that they're probably going to win the game here. And that's 10 points.
Yeah, for the math nerds out there as well, there's no points that have been distributed, right? So if they get the win, that's 10 points. That's 185 points, 11 points behind Buriram, provided they don't get any more kills from here. So it kind of gives you the picture as to how many kills they kind of need to reduce the deficit. I'm thinking like another 6 or so kills is more than enough. That would make it a 5-point gap with 1 game to go, really setting us up for the final game of PCS3 Apac. That's, of course, if they win the game. And depending on how many kills they actually get. But to try and set the picture a little bit here. Now we're into the placement points. We went from 10 teams to 7 teams very, very quickly as Sweet Soul's gone out to Samoy. Ronan with the ghillie suit trying to get that revive. Not inside of the circle yet, but Flood and Cow have got a position for Fury. 8 kills, by the way. This is a way to finish off your tournament, even when things haven't been going great, to try and finish strong. You are one of the teams that have been consistently good throughout 2020, finish strong rather than finishing flat.
Yeah, especially if they can remove Cerberus. Hey, Saki is the next player in front of them. He's got the knock onto Insight, who has already been knocked once or twice, so he's going to bleed quite quickly. Doesn't matter, though, because Flood is there and dispatches of Hey, Saki. So that's Cerberus out of the picture, and Fury will be looking for a 4th place, trying to overtake them. Still a few points behind. Circle feed comes in, and Xenox,
That's even better.
Peg you for much of a religious man, but there you go. Pulling out the expletives, and as you say, Division X Gaming have gotten the hard feed of all hard feeds here on Erangel, and my God, are they taking advantage of it.
But this also, and the reason why I say this is even better, because it forces Angel Alliance. They don't get like a phase 7 reprieve where they can maybe just stay in. Same with From the Future had it gone north. So those two teams have to move. There's no two ways around that. Unicorn has stayed behind. They're looking to try and get involved here to steal these kills away from Division X, which are obviously primed to get these kills, provided Klee or that blue aren't the ones that steal it away. From the Future are rotating. Fury are inside of the circle, who are now actually fighting Unicorn. Long case knock, it's okay, he's inside of a building. That blue is going to be eliminated though by Waikiki and Mukau. 10 kills now for Fury. That's a killing spree, and they're not too far away from leapfrogging Cerberus to get back into the top 4.
I think that might even give themselves enough points. We'll see how it goes when it updates, because Unicorn Cyber technically on the scoreboard are still alive. We know that's not the case in reality. And so does Fury actually leap up above? I think there might be 1 point behind Cerberus here. Angel Alliance are also not in a particularly good spot. 2 points behind Cerberus.
They're going to get the kill, though. They can't allow them to die to the blue. This is why they're being very aggressive by pushing out. They get both of them. Fergus with the nade to eliminate Algen bots. That's 2 more points on the board. Into the final 3 teams we go. Fury, From the Future, Division X Gaming. Just quickly, in case anyone's joined, it's not the final game. Of course, there's still 1 more to go after this, but boy, has this now set us up for a grandstand finale. From the Future, down to 3 players, and a very tough position. They're going to be the prime target to both, I guess, Division X and Fury from this point onwards.
Man, huge game coming from Division X and from Fury. I've also seen that from the Future earlier tonight as well. These grenades almost looking perfect, just not quite deep enough, but they are certainly putting the pressure onto Fury. This is going to be an absolute bloodbath. You got 3 players alive From the Future. They've been performing well tonight. Fury are coming back with a vengeance after 2 pretty poor games this evening on Miramar, and Division X Gaming a charge straight into first place, potentially for them if they can pick up all the points in this game. They are going to set Apac alight. The game slowed down a little bit now, though, Xenox. We're going to have to wait. Circle shift has come through. Division X Gaming now have to leave their compound, and you might even make the argument here that Fury have the best position of all, because they're just down that defilade. They can play with that as cover, but for From the Future and for Division X Gaming being on flat ground, if they don't get to the trees, they're donezo.
I'm pretty sure I've done the math correctly. I could be wrong, but if Division X get every single kill and the win, they're in first. So that's sort of what's at stake here for Division X. It would only be by a point or 2, nothing crazy, but that's what's on the cards.
And it would be very reminiscent of their run in Charity Showdown as well, by the way. They had a 2nd, 1st, 4th, and 4th on the final day of Charity Showdown to come away with the win. They were chasing Q Confirm, who ended up getting basically buggery that day. They got 10th, 12th, and 11th at their final 3 games. So Division X Gaming, a team that knows how to finish strong. We've already seen that in Apac before. And can they do it again? History repeats itself, as they say, Xenox, but that's not a great start. Ronan maybe bails them out of a little bit of pressure. From the Future eliminated. Division X Gaming probably down to 3 remaining players here, and they are, because Long K's finished off. This could be a chicken dinner for Fury. We'll get them maybe even into 3rd.
I will say this, though, because Division X haven't had to leave their compound, they should very much have a lot of smokes available. You can see that now on the battlefield, able to throw these out at will. It's a 10-point gap. So even if they lose from here, Division X go into the final game with a chance. You win this fight, though, against Fury, and the gap is non-existent. I don't sense they're going to win it from here, though, especially with IQ 500 knocked down. Fury's got the better position. Division X need a knockdown. It's paramount. Cow misses those shots, hugging the left side at that smoke. Fury looking for their second win of PCX3 Apac, and I think they're just going to get it. Rona with a knockdown onto Neil. Fergus may just deny points here. It doesn't really matter. Fury's
he doesn't.
the top 2. He doesn't even deny it. 16 kill win for Fury. Their second chicken dinner of the event. And they now actually have a very high likelihood